In other news, former cabinet minister Matt Hancock and serving Tory MP came third on "I'm a Celebrity, Get Me Out of Here" yesterday. Is that a actual show?
Yeah, I think so.
Oh, is that like where they put all the celebrities on an island?
Yeah, there was one guy who had to ask. Maybe we should play this. He was like in charge of, I think, with the COVID thing. This guy was sort of like setting policy for the Tories for COVID restrictions, and then got caught flaunting the restrictions to have an affair. He was on "I'm a Celebrity, Get Me Out of Here," and they asked him about it. Like, sort
oh
of
my God!
Oh, do we have a clip of that?
I'll find it.
Oh, that's fantastic. I mean, that's the worst. That
we might not be able to play that because if it's on a network show.
The problem. Let's play it anyways. I mean, the problem.
Okay.
The problem with stories like that is that it is immediately taken to mean that COVID restrictions were illegitimate, as opposed to you have a corrupt politician.
Yeah.
And there's a distinction because we have all this data showing that the vaccinations saved millions of lives. It saves millions of lives. Like, I mean, it's equivalent to like, does, dropping the speed limit save lives? Yeah, it does. Do people still die in car accidents? Yeah, they do. Two things can be true. Does increasing, running a program to get people to stop drinking and driving, does that diminish the amount of deaths that happen in car accidents? A, broadly speaking, and B, because of less alcohol consumption? Yes. Does that mean that there are people who don't die in alcohol-related car accidents? No. This is a very easy concept, but this is pretty funny. Here we go.
You got a lockdown fine, didn't you?
No, of course I didn't.
I thought you broke lockdown rules.
No, I did not.
All right,
I didn't break any.
You were socialising someone outside of your household.
Yeah, I didn't break any laws. Guidance is different, but anyway, I don't want to go.
Oh, so there's a rule and there's a law.
Guidance.
The guidance is guidance.
Right.
But the problem was it was my guidance.
Exactly.
That's why. So
why did you break your own guidance?
Because it was a mistake. Because I fell in love with somebody and.
And I was taken by love.
Well, it's true. In a way, lots of the campmates ask questions that the public have got as well, and it's only respectful to just give completely straight and truthful answers.
But you did it anyway.
Well, that's why I apologise for it. I feel very,
But it's that kind of, you just do it and then afterwards it's like, oh, I'm sorry.
No, because it's bigger than that. It's not like a sort of thing.
It's massively bigger than that.
Sorry.
My aunt died from COVID in the first wave.
Yeah.
Right.
So we couldn't go to the hospital to go and visit her.
Yeah.
I had to sit by myself in the church at her funeral. We couldn't hug each other because we were following guidance.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I get that you fell in love. I understand all of those things.
Yeah.
But sorry for a lot of families, like mine, that doesn't really cut it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, there you go. And that's one of the reasons that I regret it as much as I do.
Regret regarding the way that, as health minister, you dealt with the pandemic as a whole.
So the pandemic as a whole, no, I'm much, much more robust in my defence of it. Because
even when PPE with carers and with old people's homes.
Yeah, so PPE, for instance, I know, of course I saw what happened to it.
All right, I don't know the details of the PPE, but the dynamic of there are more responsibilities you have if you are in charge of a government program. If you are, trying to convince people of health policy, you have more responsibility to maintain the guidance that you set than just about anybody else. Like,
especially if you're the health secretary in the middle of the COVID.
Did he have to resign? Was he forced to resign?
I'm looking this up now.
Because in this country, we wouldn't force anybody to resign. There wouldn't even be a sense of like public embarrassment. You just do it. It's fine. It's okay.
Still in Parliament.
It's okay. It's okay. Everybody's going to get what I got in the hospital when I had COVID. Every American is going to get exactly the treatment I get. I mean, that's We don't even have a concept of that here. At least the guy obviously was not in any way respectful and didn't in any way in that clip.
But he fell in love. He fell in love.
I mean, look, yeah, that's hard, but you know what? Like, you're a government official. I mean,
the woman's also not his wife, so it's just hilarious to romanticize it like that. That's what guy adulterers like always do. They
but I
romanticize
mean,
it.
even if it was like not an ethically questionable relationship or whatnot, I think just the point is, you're a government official. It's the middle of a frickin' pandemic, like definitionally an emergency, and the idea that you don't feel like you have the same, or if not a greater, sense of responsibility to the public is just, it's nuts.
Yeah.
It's nuts. And frankly, I think like a lot of people in government, I think they have the same attitude towards, government as this guy, which is, it's really an opportunity for me to get benefits. I mean, it's completely mystifying to me. I think just for normal people, it's just like completely mystifying that people in this type of authority have that power. I mean, like when I was student government president, I wouldn't even, I refused to be drunk in the student union. I mean, I know that sounds ridiculous, but I was just like, there are underclassmen. I don't want to be, I'm representing, an organization.
Yeah. I was total humble brag, class president here.
Well, I didn't say class president. I actually said student government. That was campus wide. I was class president at one point too. I mean, it's not a big deal. It's not. I mean, it's not that big of a deal.
I guess
I would have been the junior as the student government president. I lost by 12 votes because John Benjamin didn't vote for me.
Well, we should have more politicians recently departed from office on reality shows here in the United States.
Without a doubt.
Not a bad forum for grilling him, by the way.
Yep.
He had nowhere to go.
Nowhere to go.